Hey everyone, Ben here, and I'm here to tell you that the Racing Line Assist is bad for you and instead offer some better tips and tools to help you improve. Don't get me wrong, everyone should go sim racing in the way that is right for them. There's no judgment for whatever assists anyone wants to run at Broca Sim Racing. Indeed, I started out in racing games always using the Racing Line Assist, and this video was actually inspired by a great debate in the SCB community Discord group with lots of different views put forward. But after 2 years of sim racing, my take is if your aim is to get faster, more consistent and crucially to race better, then the Racing Line Assist is only going to hold you back. Here's some reasons why, and stick around to the end for a better way to learn new tracks or get faster at ones you already know. The big appeal of the Racing Line Assist is it gives you an easy indicator of where to position your car on corner entry, when to hit the brakes and how to line the car up on exit. On the surface of things, all good stuff, especially if you're driving on a track that you don't know your way around. But the problem is having these artificial visual cues in place essentially prevents you from picking out your own brake and turn-in points. That's bad because there is nothing to say the Racing Line Assist gives you the optimal line through corners for the car you're driving or your driving style. And in a dynamic race situation where tyres, track temperatures, damage and weather changes can all have an impact on how your car handles, this can lead to some bad habits taking hold. But it's really bad because it can rob you of the chance to develop a proper understanding of the track and your car. How wide can you run it into a corner? How late can you brake? What happens if you get on the gas just a bit earlier to help rotate the car? Your eyes should be constantly scanning the horizon for the next braking or turn-in point, but by outsourcing these decisions to a generic Racing Line Assist, you're missing out on a ton of learning that can ultimately get you way better sim racing results and make you a better driver in the long run. And that leads us on to point 2. It's bad for developing your racecraft. Despite being known as the racing line, the truth is in a competitive race you can actually spend far less of your time on the ideal line through corners. The chances are when you're attacking or defending position, you'll need to deviate from the racing line, and if all of your reference points rely on the Racing Line Assist, you're going to be poorly equipped to improvise and develop additional brake and turn-in markers to help you overtake or defend effectively. In fact, you should already be noticing from the footage in the background that when you're in a race situation, you can barely see the ideal racing line for other cars up ahead of you. At best, this risks making you a sitting duck to cars trying to get past you, but at worst it can mean you're involved in more accidents as you struggle to understand how to position your car or spot new braking and turning points. To properly learn a track in order to race on it, you have to learn all of the track, not just the so-called ideal racing line. So how should you go about learning a new track or getting faster at one you already know? Well, ultimately I don't think there is a shortcut, but these tips should help. First, even if you currently rely on the Racing Line Assist, I'd encourage you to turn it off completely. This might mean you have to get slower before you get faster, but you'll be better in the long run. 2, if you're learning a new track, you might want to try driving a slower, stable car around it to begin with, which means you can dedicate more brain power to positioning your car and learning the corners. A cup car with ABS and traction control can be ideal for this. 3. Get yourself on YouTube and look for some decent lap guides for the track you're running and pay particular attention to car positioning, steering inputs, gear selection and braking and throttle telemetry. Alternatively, check out some of the quicker drivers in a race replay, see what they're doing on track and how you might imitate it. Or, if your sim allows it, get out in a time trial or leaderboard challenge and follow a ghost car around. But don't choose the car at the top of the charts. Try to achieve moderate pace first and pay particular attention to how the other driver positions their car through the lap. As to whether it's best to start out slow and build up speed or start out fast and wind it back, this will depend on personal preference, how much time you've got on your hands and the length of circuit you're driving. Either approach can work, but if you're going to start out at full tilt, be prepared to crash a lot and have the patience to keep going. Speaking of patience, that's a key part of getting better sim racing results, along with a better mindset, which is what this next video is all about.